Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. And today what we're doing is rebuilding this lovely Petcock for the Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie is getting close. It's getting very close. So that's what we're going to do. So without further ado, now as you can see, this is one I'd stripped already. If you want to see me stripping this, go back and watch one of the previous videos. It's there. What you're going to need to do this job is some form of Petcock Rebuild kit. I'm using the All Balls 60-1301. That gives you a couple of bolts. It gives you these 4 bolts here, a new spring, a new diaphragm. We don't need that plastic piece, and a new O-ring. I'm not actually sure where the O-ring goes, but we'll figure that one out. It might, oh it is, it's the same O-ring. So what you also need to buy if you're going to redo this and your bike is old, so these are my old strainer pieces. As you can see, it's not looking good, but that's where that O-ring is for there. This is a Honda OEM piece, and it is hopefully you can read that, 16952-MZ0-003, if you want to use this particular, but we'll get to that at the end. We don't need that one yet. First and foremost, what I'm going to do is shine off this piece a little bit more, and then we'll start putting everything back together. So the main thing I've done on this one, I have 3 altogether, these 2 here as well. What I've done is just picked the best one. This one has all its internal channels, are nice and clean, and honestly what I think took this one out of action was the diaphragm was actually damaged. And how this works is basically when you don't have vacuum, the spring pushes the diaphragm closed. So if you have a hole or a small hole in your diaphragm, you're just going to leak fuel all the time, right? Because this is your inlet and this is your fuel outlet. So the diaphragm basically closes off the fuel flow, which comes through this center hole here, or I believe, yeah, just from the center hole here. And then obviously as your selectors, which is nice because we have this one taken apart, one of these is, this hole here is from your, which you can't see, but it's up in there. That hole is from your prime or your reserve, and then the other hole is from your regular fuel flow. Is what it should be, I believe. It could be the opposite way. And then you do have a check ball bearing that is moved to block one hole or the other and gives you X amount of fuel flow. This one is slightly different. This is an aftermarket piece, which I've already run through the ultrasonic baths a few times. The outside looks nice and clean, but the inside is still quite dirty. But we will get it back to where it needs to be. First and foremost, what you actually need here is a Petcock, your main body. You need your sandwich plate and your main plate, right? How this is going to end up is this little overflow drain right here is going to face down as per gravity, so it's going to face literally straight down like that. And then your main plate, your outlet on this bike faces the same direction as your fuel flow. All right. Other than that, all we're going to do is start reassembling. So my diaphragm basically goes through this center hole here. So this is a two-piece diaphragm here, like that, and this metal piece here is going to sit in this center piece. So you just got to push that through. Quite easy to do. And then you can see that that'll seat on the backside like that, and then this one will seat around that outside piece like so, right? Now what you need to do next is put your plastic plate on. The plastic piece, if it focuses, you gonna focus for me? No? Anyway, hold on. The plastic piece has grooves, and those grooves are for holding the spring, right? So you have to make sure those grooves face up. But this plastic piece is gonna go on here. Sometimes it's easier to put a bit of resistance at the back of the diaphragm and push it on, because there's a little rubber locator in the center of the diaphragm, and that actually locates that plastic piece for the spring. Once you have that done, you can kind of start reassembling. And again, in the other video I did all my cleaning and stuff, so you do want to make sure everything on this is really, really clean. This is where it gets slightly more fiddly. So you put on your sandwich plate, your drain facing down, imagining, you know, liquid can get in there or whatever. And then we're going to put everything together but you kind of want to make sure everything's lined up nicely. And you want to try, just push straight down and hold it gently while you get a couple of bolts in. And like I said, this is the hard part. What I always do is I'll put in 2 opposite corners first, and I'll just barely snug them down. And now you should be safe to kind of let go and inspect stuff. Now when this is all the way snug down, you are going to want to make sure that you don't see any, like, you know, diaphragm sticking out anywhere or anything like that. And you should then be good to go. There is also another thing you can do, which is to essentially turn this to the off position and then blow through it and see can you get fuel through, which I will do. I'll do a couple of checks and hopefully not poison myself with whatever is on this old thing. And then when you're snugging it down, I like to just go star pattern. None of this is required, by the way, because it's all just, you know, Phillips head bolts or whatever head these are. And then you just want to bottom it out. None of these were super tight coming off. And they also do have a little locking washer on them, so you don't need to go crazy. So that's it. That's it. Pretty much done. Now we just need to put on our strainer. Now the one thing to recognize with these strainers is they are sometimes done for multiple bikes. So I'm not actually sure where this one goes. I don't think I actually need that. I might not need it. But this O-ring I do need, and it needs to go on the outside like that. So you just roll it up there, and that seals up against when we go in. Now I don't think I need anything else though. I wonder if that's supposed to go around the top. Should I kind of locate it? So that is now, that's that pushed in. You just kind of have to work around the base here and push it in. I have a feeling that rubber piece is supposed to go up here, so I might pop that back off and see, does that work? Maybe? Oh yeah, it is. So if I look on this old one here, there is actually that rubber ring up in there. So I'm just going to work that this rubber piece all the way up to this hard piece here. Okay, so that's on. I did use a little bit of red rubber grease just on the top of the actual straw, so just here, to help it into that O-ring because it didn't really want to go. And then what you want to do is just space this to make sure that nothing looks collapsed. So I'll have to put that back on again, but that's okay. You want to just do this slowly and methodically because you don't want to take this out again, out of the tank again. That would be not so fun. Okay, that should be good. So what I'm going to do is pop this into the tank now and show you how to do that. Oh, I should mention, right, so this is where you want to put in the petcock. You want to make sure everything's facing the right way, so this piece here will face the left-hand side of the tank as it's on the bike, right? Because when you put this in, you want it to stay straight. You don't want to put this in and turn it because you can actually twist. You can twist this up and you could possibly damage it. So we do not want that, right? You want to keep it as good as you possibly can. So your O-ring down here, that'll seal in against the bottom, and then you just want to slide it in, and you want to hold your petcock in place and put on your nut. And then later, obviously, you're going to want to come back and tighten that up with a spanner or something. But that's it. So the only watch outs I would have, just get this out of the way, this piece and this piece, right? If you're taking these out of an old tank, you can see these have separated, right? When I first took this out, this was still attached to the petcock. This was stuck in the tank. So when you're putting your new one in, you do want to make sure they are out of there. The other thing I would highly recommend is if you're going to run what was once a really rusty fuel tank, which this one was, you want to get a set of filters. I'm not sure where mine are, but I have filters that I'm going to put in line with the fuel tank so that I can run those for, here they are. So this is going to be attached. This is for a car, right? So it should work fine. But basically this will let me visually see if I'm getting anything out of the tank, and also will let me swap in new filters as I go. So this is what I'm going to be using. And I would always recommend that with carbs you run a filter post the petcock anyway, because those like screens have a habit of letting certain things through or failing. And then you end up in a situation where you, not only do you have to like open up your petcock maybe or whatever and clean and rebuild that, which is not a big deal, but you also have to rebuild your carts, which is a big deal. It's a lot more work and generally more expensive. So I would always recommend running an inline filter as well. Just takes a little bit more stress out of it. But that's it. If you've watched, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, if you want to see one of these being taken apart, go back and watch. You'll see it in the title of my video. It's like upcoming videos and upcoming, I don't know what it is, upcoming stuff on the Valkyrie and Petcock's teardown. So have a look at that if you want to see the whole thing coming apart. At some point I will put those ones back together as well, so we have a spare. But as of right now, yeah, I have a couple more jobs to do, and then we can put that tank back on and hopefully take this bike for a spin. We're getting close. We're getting very, very close. But yeah, that's it. If you watched, thank you very much for watching. As always, very special thank you to all of my patrons. I appreciate your support very much. And until next time, thank you again for watching. Questions in the comments. Just nice phrases in the comments. Supportive comments in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again. Adios. Outro crew. Have you ever tried this stuff? Spindrift. It's really hot in here and I can't run my fan while I'm talking. And I love this stuff. It's great. It was cold. It's not cold anymore. And this video has only been going for like 23 minutes of me recording. But yeah, do you like Spindrift, Outro crew? I do. It's tasty. Bye, Outro crew.